video game all A's category with SecksWrecks.
Hi, hello. I am
Hello,
SecksWrecks.
my name is P.Text.
And
You
with
might have
me,
heard that
we have-
donation 5 seconds
introduce
ago.
yourself.
That is me. I am also a runner for Pringles.
That is. So, I know what you're thinking. Wow, I missed the Pringles game on Genesis when I was a kid growing up in the 90s. And if you look at the year there on screen, you did not. This is a homebrew game, as might have been evidenced by that URL you see popping up during the demo reel here. Released in 2009 by a solo Japanese developer. Many have questioned why she decided to make a Pringles game. I don't think there's any answers. So to explain the all A's category, you get a rank when you clear every level based on the number of points you get. And if you just void out, the game gives you a C rank, even if you don't reach the goal. So the 80% run is about 40 seconds long. We call it Scream into the Void. That's a big mood right now, but we're not doing that. We're doing all A's. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Gotta wait for the demo reel to play back here. So I'm going to go in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So first levels is going to be sour cream and onion. You just saw that menu for like maybe a split second, and that's because there is a wobble that happens during that menu. And while that wobble happens, you cannot do anything in that main menu. So there is a way to skip that. It's called wobble skip. If you hold a button, the wobble will go by faster, and it'll end faster. It saves like, it's the biggest time saver during the run. And
you saw there, I let go of A and let the wobble go because it's kind of like a game of chicken with the menu. You have 15 frames it's 15 frames of time that you want to be holding A to reduce the countdown for when you have control of the menu. But if you're holding A when those 15 frames are up, you will reselect the level you just finished and waste all that time you just saved.
All right, so now we are in basil tomato. In this case, you're going to see a lot of lag. From now on until the end of the run, this game will lag a lot. Unless you do one single thing, and it is to not move horizontally, which means you cannot go left or right. Your Pringles mascot must stay horizontally still as possible for the lag frames to not occur. In this level, it's the most apparent. So with this game, there's a lot of momentum into it. So if you want to balance your character so that he doesn't move horizontally at all, you have no choice but to like try to go left and right. It's a little tough at first, but if you start, oh no way,
no way.
So in other words, if you do not stay still in a horizontal fashion, the game will lag as you collect chips. Because apparently, if you collect chips, those stars that appear, they're what is too much for the console to handle, and so it starts chunking up. Here we got the Liberty chip. Are you gonna get it? No, it's fine. Liberty chip is a faster tech to save a second or two. So now we're at black pepper. Yes, it is black pepper. It is what is said in the menus, but it is obviously black pepper. But that is fine. This level is a little tough. There's a little skip here, but after that we got what we call the fast climb. If you can have the momentum to go left and right, you will have one of the biggest time savers in this level. That was pretty decent. Level 2, there's not much to explain, but that is fine.
So we have left out, so you'll notice the combo counter in the right increases with every chip, and the score increments by the current combo. So that is how you need to basically collect every chip without bouncing on any of the cans in order to achieve the max rank. Or, as they say, once you pop, you can't stop.
Speaking of not stopping, you're going for the Kaizo chip after collecting that one chip there. It's going to be harder to cross this gap. Oh, no way.
No way.
The Kaizo chip saves 4 to 5 frames. So if you really, really need to save time, this is your Hail Mary. You got to make sure you get that one right. For world record runs, we do not go for it because it only saves 3 to 4 frames. It's not worth it. Also, no way.
Yeah, big no way there. Everything's going bell-shaped here at the end, but you know, this is the last level.
This is the toughest level.
We're almost done.
We are almost done. Time's going to be when the Pringles mascot touches the goal. After these 4 chips. 1, 2, 3, 4, and time.
Time.
That was pretty good. We're popping. We are popping.
We are popping.
Celebration. All right. Well, that was a really good run of Pringles. For world record, it is 252. It is quite optimized. We do have a task that's, 245? Is that it?
Yeah, the thing about the task is the Genesis emulators do not emulate the slowdown properly, which is why console and emulator runs are separated out on tube. So on emulator, you have to submit to the latest stacks board because, as everyone knows, latest stacks are an inaccurate emulation of the Pringles experience. So I just want to shout out to Partyman X, that's the world record holder, Chair G Tables. We got Liz, who invented the IRL category. She's coming up next with Hypnospace Outlaw. Going to be a great run.
Shout outs to Hubert for the task as well.
Yeah, Hubert for the task. I think someone else made. I think someone made a task at ESA that year as well. Shout outs to Panda, my boy Panda. Can't be here, but you know he's here in spirit. Shout outs to Ball Jared for verifying all of the IRL runs and setting up all the different boards for all the different can sizes. And you know, with that, I don't really have much else to say except, you know, once you pop, you can't stop. So everyone stay tuned for Hypnospace Outlaw and the rest of the silly block. It's going to be a silly time.
Keep popping.
Thank you so much for Pringles game. Speaking of which, we have a 252.73 donation from Partyman X. Says, missing the practice room popping crew, popping those crisps, cancel those wobbles, and most importantly, never stop. Hashtag pop nonstop. We also have a $25 donation from Slurpee Ninja, who says, hashtag pop nonstop. When I heard Pringles was in this, I started popping and just couldn't stop. So, of course, missing the chance to donate during this run would be a big no way. Shout outs to all the Pringles speedrunning crew. Let's eat those chips for Mount Choco. Flibbit sends $300.92, says, consider this my punishment for not getting my Pringles time down to a sub 3. Never stop popping. Speaking of which, let us check on how we are getting these incentives met. Let's see here. Oh, we are so close for the ALF book in ALF. We only need a few more dollars to go. We're at $2,479.40 out of $2,500. Let's get that met. And then up next, we need the Fiona cutscenes for Ashgan the Dragon Slayer. And they're apparently extremely silly cutscenes. We're only at $575.73 out of 3,000. So now we're going to have to make that push. Come on, more silly, more silly, more silly. I don't know if you can hear me banging my hand on my table. More silly. Let's see. Bill Brooklyn sends $5 and says, onward to Melmac. That's right, onward to Melmac. Alienia sends $20, says, I keep seeing Homie D Clown during this night when I have to stay up, and it haunts me. It haunts me so much. I hope if I donate, he will leave me alone. But I suppose it might just draw his attention. Oh no. Oh no. Pretty scary. Terrified just reading that. Let's see. All right. Retro Next Gen sends $100 and says, pop those Pringles. And with that, let's go to a brief Twitch ad, but don't go anywhere. More silliness is coming up in a bit. That okay. Hello, we are back. Maya sends $20 and says, Grand Cream's hot butter ice cream. You take the hot butter, mix it with the ice cream. Good luck on the Hypnospace run, Liz. And now we are going to have a brief word from our sponsor, so stick around for just a little bit longer.
There is a world that exists beyond our own, hidden on the edge of shadows. To liberate this realm, we must become the warrior of darkness.
All right, now I'm just going to let everyone know the ALF book incentive has been met. Thank you so much to all of you. Next up is the Ashgan Dragon Slayer Fiona cutscene incentive. We are at $785 out of $3,000. Let's go, 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 people. Let's get that met. And while you're getting that met, let's go over to an interview.
Thank you, LLK. My name is Jhobz, and I am joined by the illustrious Bullets, who will probably... Wait, hold on. I got to figure this out in perspective-wise. I think you are this way for me.
I don't know which
I hope
way
I did that right, chat.
I don't know.
I pointed.
I'm in
We'll
a
see.
void
I don't
right
know.
now.
We'll find out. Bullets, how are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great. It is a lovely 4 a.m. for me, so I'm having the time of my life right now.
Yeah, that was gonna be my first question. Just like how you feeling? You feeling all pumped and ready for the late night the late night run? I mean, you're not exactly new to this kind of time slot, really. I
don't think I've had a run yet that's been after 9 a.m. So I'm used to on site just like staying up through the night just in case something happens, and just being up at like 5 a.m. and being a zombie and just like 15 minutes pure energy, and then after that just like crash and just be sleep for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue into my first question here, because a lot of people know you from several of the silly game or awful game block games that you've run before, because you've run, after today, it will be 8 games at GDQs before, which is pretty awesome. But I actually first met you when you were going to be running Lovely Planet, when you were racing it, and that was still equally at a time slot where you stayed up all night.
Oh yeah, we practiced all through the night, and we were sitting in the practice room, all 4 of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty great. But I wanted to ask, like, what was that like a conversion? Did you make a conversion from like, oh, you know, a pretty reasonable game to a bunch of just silly and awful games, or have you always been all about these ridiculous games as well? What makes you kind of pick various speed games, I guess?
I think it's fun to routing stuff is a fun aspect of speedrunning in general, but just finding games that sounds like I've never heard of this before. Like, this game's never seen a speedrun. Like, how do you even speedrun this game? And then just like kind of getting people in with that and kind of
you get to like kind of show these games to people that have never really seen it before, and kind of like especially for like Yano, which was a couple days ago. Like like a lot of people haven't heard of Yano before, but like when they take a chance on it and it's a different game for that, they get rewarded by some very interesting stuff. And I think Hospital will be the same, but in a very different way than than Yano was.
Yeah, I did want to ask you about Yano because this, as you're alluding to, Saint Hazel's Hospital, got to say that right, is actually your second run in this marathon. I managed to catch Yano, like you said, being someone who was not familiar with it at all, and it was unbelievable what you could do with such few mechanics. Like you were just skip after skip. I remember one section in particular where you had 3 skips in a row that became like each one easier than the last, and you were just talking about how simple and great they were because it was just so funny. So I just wanted to give you kind of big props on that, but also what was it like prepping for 2 different runs in the marathon?
For Yano, a runner called Savade picked up the game and was like, "Hey, I just found a dozen things like the week before the like your SGDQ run. I hope you like learning stuff and stressing out because that's what your week's gonna be." So a lot of the stuff in that run, like the whole entire like skewing thing where Yano just starts tilting upwards in that run, that was a whole entire new thing that never existed until that like a month before. So that was definitely a lot of focus for that. And for Hospital, I've put a lot of time into it before, so I've spent a few days after Yano just kind of sitting down and just being like, yeah, I think I'm pretty good with everything. Tonight I was just looking for new stuff for the glitch showcase that got met, so I found something new tonight, so I'll be showing that.
Nice. Gotta love when the incentives are incentive for you to find more things and to show off more stuff for everybody. That's great. I hear there is a decent chance, I don't want to completely guarantee it for everybody out there yet, but there's a decent chance there's going to be a dev on call for the commentary. So
pretty guaranteed chance should be. They are awake. So unless I've scared them away in the last half hour, we should have a dev on call.
They finally remembered what game they made, and they were like, "Oh no, I'm out of here." So I want to just point this out before I ask this question real quick. I noticed earlier that for anyone who doesn't know, Bullets' custom status on Discord is speedrun all the animal games, no exceptions. So how true have you been sticking to that so far?
So I did Wild Animal Sports Day for AGDQ 2020, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if just for the entire year of 2020, why don't I just only run a game for every single animal? So like I did Pet the Pup at the Party for GDQ before, I did Cat Lateral Damage, I did Yano, obviously, I'm going to do Hospital. But I'm like, what are some obscure games for like weird animals that no one's ever played? So like Narwhal Heist, which is about a narwhal that steals things, but because your horn is like in your FOV, if you bump into anything with it, you get caught. Or I played an axolotl game that I had to I had to look very hard for one. I had to look, yeah. You have to look in some weird places sometimes for some of the certain animals. But it's just right. But at this point, I think I've done 31 different games for 31 different animals and speedrun it. So
meanwhile, Snake Pass is sitting off to the
Snake
side.
Pass is ready to go. I'm gonna get to that. I promise.
There we go. So for me, one of the things I love doing with Awful and Silly Block is going in pretty much blind, and it was no exception for me with your run. So for somebody who knows nothing about St. Hazel's Hospital, please explain to me and everybody out there who doesn't know what this game is in as many or as few words as you'd like.
A horse with ping pong balls for eyes tries to rescue another horse from a hospital. Hijinks occurs. Lots of strange things happen. There's a cult involved beneath the hospital. There's way too much. There's mind control. There's walls are suggestions like usual. All the good stuff you want from a speedrun. And there's there's 3 very good cutscenes, so you need to watch for those. We have to sit. You can't read the dialogue unless you read really quickly, but you get the feeling from it. You understand it. The images explain what the words cannot.
Oh man, I don't think I knew what I was getting into. All right, well, I'm looking forward to it. Final thing that I wanna leave you with here, Bullets, before we get going and continue on with silly games done quick. At the beginning of the week, I actually interviewed executive director of MSF USA, Avril Benoit, and I mentioned to her that she should look out for this run, St. Hazel's Hospital. Was that a good decision or a great decision?
Oh, you get all the different aspects from GDQs. You get the very intense, frame perfect, like blindfolded. We just had a blindfolded run now, and sometimes you need to roll back a little bit. You need to be like, why don't we just run around with this horse for 25 minutes and just have a fun time and just see what happens. You gotta get that variety.
All right. So what I'm hearing is that it was the best decision.
Oh yeah, it's definitely was a decision.
It was a decision. That's true. All right, Bullets. Thanks again for showing off just these wonderful games for us, and for talking with me here. Good luck on your run in just a little bit, and most importantly, good luck on staying awake, as everybody else should, for these silly games. We are going to go back to LK so she can bring us the next lovely run, Hypnospace Outlaw by Liz Star, coming up pretty soon.
All right, thank you very much for that wonderful interview. Let's see, Erdrick sends $100. It says, I should go to bed, but silly block keeps calling me back. Agreed. Story of my life. I think that's the name of my autobiography, actually.
Yeah, thank you very much for doing this. Appreciate it all, bud.
What else do we have here? Silver Moon sends $5 and says, is this that Hypnospace Outlaw Star game I've heard about? Good luck, Liz. Hashtag Kuso. Hashtag Gabo.